Never turn your back on black magic. Wait, there's a treasure chest. I got a thing. Uh-oh, time's running out. So yeah, that's that's the Tower of Druaga experience in a nutshell. This is being played on the Namco Museum Arcade Pac, a physical cartridge that I obtained from the Maryland Library System. It includes a bunch of games, which I guess I'll review for a tiny bit before I get back to playing the proper game. So the entire collection contains these games. I already did a video of Rolling Thunder, and I'll play the sequel a bit later. I played the Genesis port of Rolling Thunder too, a bit of it back in the mid-90s. I'll do a video of that stuff later. I'm probably never going to do a video of Splatterhouse ever again, but I did the PC Engine version. I'll probably just play the arcade version a bit later. But these are the games included on the collection, which I believe cost about $20 retail. I think you can find used copies of this cartridge for like $15, so it's not a terrible deal if you want a physical copy of games like this. I do have the PSP disc that included emulations of Rolling Thunder 1. I don't know if it included the sequel. I don't remember if it included Tower of Druaga. But this game is notable because it's apparently one of the most popular arcade games in Japan back in the, 1984, 1985, right around that time period. And apparently it inspired a lot of Japanese game developers that went on to make games like Metroid and Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, because they were huge fans of the Dungeons and Dragons universe. That was in book form at the time, obviously. And Nightmare of Druaga, or Tower of Druaga, was an arcade game they made kind of in the spirit of what those games were trying, what those book games, those text-based games were trying to do. In this case, it's a game about running around a maze. Let me turn this down, it's going to drive me nuts. Okay, we'll get back to that in a second. I do want you to hear the music, because it's kind of OP. It's charming in that really old-school chiptune-y way. Like, you can tell that we're trying to do, like, the really rousing music, and I think it works mostly pretty well, surprisingly. How do you play Tower of Druaga? Well, I guess it's like a much, much, much slower version of Pac-Man. I guess is the best way to describe it. As you can see from the first few minutes of this video, that's pretty much what you're getting. But we'll put that in some context. You hold the A button to keep your sword out. No jokes, please. Each floor has a key that can be used to open the door to the next floor. Enemies vary from floor to floor. If health drops to 0 from touching slimes or wizards or getting hit from their attacks, or if time runs out. If you lose all of your lives, it's game over. You'll need to be careful as your remaining health is not displayed. That's not particularly helpful. Why would an arcade game leave that out? It's like it ran out of space or anything. Each floor is one hidden treasure chest. Chests contain items which you must fulfill specific conditions to make them appear. If you're not sure how to find a chest, you can press X to bring up the hit. Again, I knew that there was a secret chest on that first floor, and I accidentally found it by killing 3 slimes. Now, are you going to be able to figure out how to get the other secret chests on each floor by just playing the game normally? Good luck with that. We'll see how that goes. I'm not holding out much hope, to be brutally honest with you. If you lose all your lives, the game over yet. Your shield is your friend. Using things such as your shield can protect you from spells cast by wizards. When not holding out his sword, Gil will raise his shield out in front of him, like in Legend of Zelda. If you're not swinging your sword, your shield's in front of you. If a wizard casts a spell in front of you, put your sword away and face the spell to deflect it. When you're holding your sword out like that, Gilgamesh will hold the shield to his left. As you can see in the picture over there on the right side of the screen there. The sword's pointed down, but the shield's pointed to the right side of the screen or Gilgamesh's left. So if you know that, then you can keep your sword out and absorb shield damage. Absorb attacks with the shield. You can press plus while holding A to select the floor you've already reached and start playing again. That's cute. You can run out of continues? We'll play the game normally and see how it goes. Challenge mode. We'll do the challenge mode later. Challenge modes are weird. Because it's like a particular floor. And it's like a fixed... I think it's like a fixed floor that all the people in the challenge mode play. And your idea is to get the highest score possible in that mode. Just a second. We'll bring the music back up. Don't worry. Like I said, I wanted to kind of explain what kind of game we're playing here. So now that I provided some context for what I'm doing, we can continue as business as usual. That's the entire soundtrack, apparently. Black slime, the best kind of slime. Ever turn your back on black magic? Obviously. The hardcore fans know that I missed something a second ago. Don't worry about that. There was a secret that I missed. Again, I'm playing the game normally. I got the key. Takes a while to whip out that sword, unfortunately. Excuse me while I whip this out. Not that way. And I don't move any faster when my sword is tucked away. That's not cool. Uh-oh. This can't go well. Haha. Got me. You ever turned your back on black magic? Ah, come on! That's messed up, dog. Haha. Ha! Ah! Bastards. Holler if you grok the reference. Starfire Champion. Holla if you know the lyrics for the theme song. So, that wasn't particularly great. So, yeah, that's basically the Druaga experience. We're going to play a couple more times. I'll play with hints, by the way, so I can unlock some of this stuff. But again, I just wanted to see if the hints were obvious. Or if you have to really go out of your way to get those hints. No. Back to the beginning. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, the hint for this level is you're supposed to defeat 3 slimes, and then you get a pickaxe. Okay, that's fantastic, I suppose. It will break if you try to use it on the outer wall or twice in a row. So it allows you to destroy walls, which I guess is good for speed running. But how do I actually use it once I get it? Oh, you can see the map for the full. We're not gonna cheat. We're not gonna use the map. Is the door in a different area every time? Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, the door's in a different area every time. I guess the big problem is that you can't walk past the door if you have the key. So once you get the key, you're committing to going through the door. Basically, you can't walk past it, which is really bizarre. So now we're gonna add some actual commentary. This isn't a long play video. We've tried to provide some self-contained context for these videos. Ah! Stab the black slime. Defeat 2 black slimes and the jet boots will increase Gil's movement speed. That seems incredibly important. I can't go that way. Remember, I'm also on a time crunch. Aha! On guard. Despite the game's popularity back in the Reagan era, I think this game is incredibly lame. Like, it is incredibly important, but it's also incredibly lame. Like, it's the opposite of, like, a Super Mario Brothers, where it's incredibly... Actually, no, well, Super Mario Brothers is obviously seminal, but it's also not lame. Well, it's lame in a different kind of way, but at least it plays well. This just seems like a terrible... This feels like I'm trudging around in mud. And I don't mean in the Dark Souls way. Whoops! Because I forgot to whip my sword out. Is there a rewind feature in this game? I want to say there's no rewind feature in this game. Just to do a quick check. I want to say there's definitely no rewind feature in this. No, there's no rewind feature in this game. You can't cheat like that. There are other ways you can cheat, just not that way. So being able to run faster is nice. I didn't get the key yet either, so that sucks. But again, how would I know to kill the black slimes to get the speed boost? You know what I mean? I remember Namco versus the Namco X Capcom game that came out in the PS1. I think it was a PS2 game. That Namco X Capcom game had a this music being played as a character theme, but I don't think they remixed it. But there are some fantastic remixes in that game. I don't think Namco X Capcom is any good, apparently, as a video game. Because it's one of those games where there are like 50 pieces to move around the board at any particular time. And apparently the game's not that difficult. What game am I thinking of? What's the hint for this level? Pass over the door before obtaining the key. Well, there's your problem. If you can't see the key at the start of the screen, a noise will sound when you face its direction. I don't know what that means. Whoops! Okay, you gotta whip out... Okay, it takes a while to whip out your sword. You can't just press a button and stab it. Like, you're not like Link in the Legend of Zelda games. So that sucks. So you gotta whip it out first and then move forward. That's a safe way to do it. He said move past the door before getting the key. It didn't seem to matter. I got a high score at least. Ready to turn around if needed. There it is. Stabby. Ha! I like how the cabinet has like no useful... Okay, I should have walked... I walked right into that. Just a second. I put in the key. I put in the coin. So what else was I supposed to do? Again, we're going to cheat a bit here because I'm probably never going to play this game ever again for the rest of my life. So let's put a little bit of effort in here. Like, people would say, you haven't beaten the game. And let's be honest. If I were playing this, if I had to pay 25 cents every time I played this game, I would probably put in 75 cents total and never touch it again. So let's be brutally honest about what kind of game this is. A game of this vintage is important, but it's not particularly entertaining, I'll be the first to admit. I'm not expecting the next Skyrim here. Although, come to think of it, I did have... Remember that PS2 game called Nightmare of Druaga? I believe I still have that game. That game, I think, is still pretty cheap. It was like a $10, $15 game for a long time because no one wanted it. But if you were into those Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games, you know, Shiren the Wanderer on the Wii, games like that, I played Touhou, what's that game? Touhou, Wandering Dungeon, I think it was called. I forgot what it was called. But it was basically one of those Mystery Dungeon games. I have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon sitting around here somewhere. Yeah, I got it from the library recently. I'll play that a bit later. Again, I tried playing the mainline Pokemon games and they bored me out of my mind. I'll probably go back and play Pokemon Brilliant Diamond at some point. I never made a video of it. I played about half an hour of it and just kind of got bored stiff. It reminded me too much of Pokemon Shield, which I didn't like. But we'll talk. I have a video of Pokemon Shield that's already up if you want to see that, but I don't have a whole lot to say about Pokemon Shield. It's like it's like a game that came out in it feels like a video game that came out in 1989 and hasn't really changed much. And I'm sorry, I played video games. I played Final Fantasy back in 1990. It's kind of hard to go back to play a game like Pokemon after playing a game like, you know, Resonance of Fate. I don't know. Like, after playing Resonance of Fate, why would I ever play a Pokemon game? Well, like, I played Little Town Hero, and that seems to be okay if you're willing to deal with a card combat system, but we'll talk about that another time. Look, dude, I've been playing RPG since like the late 80s. Don't whine to me about Pokemon, okay? I'm gonna be fine without playing any more Pokemon for the rest of my life. Now, Pokemon Puzzle League sounds perfectly fine to me. I'm always gonna play that. Sorry, what did I say I was gonna? What did I say I was doing? We'll do the challenge a bit later before we end the video. I can hold the A button and press plus. Now, who am I going to be this time? Can I go back? I can't go back. Okay, so I'll be Conan. What do you mean I can't go back? There's only one button in the arcade game. So I'll be the one true barbarian. I can't go back, so I can't put the C in there. Don't whine to me about that. I'm trying to plus. No. Hold A, press plus. There we go. Okay, now we're talking. Well, I made it till 4 or 5, huh? I can go back if I want, but we'll do that later. We'll go back 1 4. I get to keep my boots. I dig that. Must be the shoes. Got my British, these are literally British knights. Well, maybe we're not British. So so all you retro gamers be like, hey Terrence, you gonna play any Ultima games with Lord British? I'm like, yeah. Don't make me pull out an emulator. I've never played a single Ultima game. I don't know what that was. Oh, I got the high score. Okay, because I continued. Got that. Whoa! Got that high score though. Imagine if I didn't have the speedy boots. How was I supposed to predict that? Wow! Okay, that's messed up. Come on. Again, imagine if I didn't have the speed. If I didn't have that super speed, though. Remember that trick? The shield's always pointed to your left. Let's try that again. Yeah, we're gonna get this right? Yeah, we're not skipping anything over there. We're not skipping anything this time. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Dan. The adventurer. No. We need 2 players. Oh, I can't go back, darn it. Okay, I'm never gonna play this. Okay, enough. Oh, that was another coin. Okay, screw this game. Okay. Enough. Where's the challenge mode? Okay, so we'll go back to the main menu and choose the challenge mode. Yeah, but okay, this game sucks. Look. I tried. I played this game for 30 minutes in this video and in a previous video. I don't like this game. It's slow, it's obtuse, and it's really frustrating. It gets really frustrating really fast. It's the opposite of compelling. Though I'm sure it's a pretty fun student project. Yeah, I mean, I really have nothing to say about this game other than it's historically important for Japanese video gaming. Complete 11 specifically selected floors as fast as you can. Aim for a high score and complete the... Okay. Press the X button to show a hint. Okay. The longer you view the hint, the lower your rating will be. Boo! So I guess you're trying to figure out what you're doing. So this is where you get the speed shoes. We gotta kill those black slimes. Splat! What? I had my sword out. What was that about? What was that about? I had my sword out. That's messed up. Oh, sure, this is a dead end. Sorry, fam, it's a dead end. I gotta get that treasure chest. I mean, the treasure chest will disappear. No time limit, I guess. Yeah, no time limit. I mean, I could still die on the stage, I want to say. I gotta go around. There we go. Well, I gotta get the key. Give me the key. So the door's in a different spot every time, or it's randomized in some way. Like there might be a few set locations, but the locations are randomized. So there could be like a dozen possible places where the key in the door could be, but the game just randomly selects it. It's like a tile set, I guess. So the maze is always the same, but the placement of the door, of the key, and the gate are different every time. And I guess that makes sense. It's an arcade game. There's a lot more dynamism and stuff like that back in the day. On guard. So that's how I survive. I keep my sword out, I guess. 26. This got real. Oh, they can blast through the walls. That's not good. That's not good. Wow. That is not good at all. This game just got real. Blast through the wall. Thanks, kid. Bye. Not a terrible score. Hey! Wait, what just happened? I didn't lose any lives. Review challenge rules. So yeah, so you'll lower your score if you look at the hints. Let's try again. We'll probably only try one more time, if we're being honest. So I guess I'll fill some more time at the end of this video by playing another terrible arcade game. I'm calling it. This game's terrible. If I were a kid playing this in 1984 at an arcade, I'd probably think it was, like, I guess, fine. But I would hate it because it's so slow. So maybe that's something worth noting. I think the pace of this game would not appeal to me at all as a kid. There's always a part of me that wishes the Neo Geo made a Crystalis sequel. You know, a Godslayer sequel, which would never have been possible. Unless you had a memory card and you can, like, preserve your progress, or maybe have, like, a password or something. But yeah, trying to play a game like that and make money off of it for a Neo Geo would be almost untenable. Like, it would have to be like $1 a play. You would be allowed to play for like 20 minutes or something. Even then. Arcade games are made to be played in 5-minute bursts, right? So, 50 cents for 5 minutes, I mean, how would the economics even work on a game like that? Guarding the key, that can't be good. It's a terrible spawn for this key. My shield save me? I don't know. Doesn't look very promising. Yeah, it's just a really slow, really unengaging version of Pac-Man. I should have my shield out. I don't know, I think this game just sucks. Like, just really, really sluggish. There's not, it can't, I mean, there can't be much depth to the combat. I mean, I do think it's a nice touch to have, like, you know, a shield that only faces one direction. Like, that's a nice touch. But Zelda is, like, infinitely better in every way. Although I wouldn't be shocked if, like, Zelda was inspired by a game like this. Zelda came out in '85, right? In Japan. Like, maybe a year after. Of course, they might have been working on this game long before. Like, they might have been working on this game in 1984. Or Zelda, anyway. But I could see someone playing this game in an arcade and saying, yeah, let's make this into a Nintendo game. And of course, Zelda eventually became a Famicom Disk System title. But they weren't that ambitious with it, I don't think. Like, I think... Excuse me. What was the hint for this level? Defeat them, then pick up the key. Alternatively, get the key first and defeat them. I'll just swing your sword faster. Okay. You need this? If you don't have the balance from the floor 24, this gauntlet will contain evil gauntlets will run you out of... What? So you're telling me I can't beat the game? So you're telling me I can't beat the game? Yeah, you're telling me I can't beat the game because those stupid evil gauntlets? That's probably why the game ended, because I never got the... That's probably why the game ended earlier, because I never got the gauntlets. Or at least I needed to kill those 3 of those guys. Or I needed to kill one of those guys and get the key. Because I didn't, the game smacked me down. This game is dumb. You tell me I can't even beat the game unless I knew that? Like, again, how would anyone even know that just by playing the game normally? Like, you can't beat... Like, Christopher, you're never going to beat this game because it's an arcade game from 1984. It was impossible for you to beat the game playing it normally anyway, right? Like, I think there was like a Famicom game that Jeremy Parrish was talking about, like a Japan-only Famicom game, where it was like, okay, you can't beat the game normally unless you complete this very specific task when you're playing the game. Like, I think Bubble Bobble had the same problem where you couldn't beat the game unless you had a second player. A couple of other games have Ghouls and Ghosts is different. The game basically just gave you the middle finger and told you to play the game again. I think there was an image of a character in a Famicom game, or I think it was a Master System game, I think. An alien, I think, gave you a middle finger at the end of the game. You had to go through it all over again. So, it's one big S-post, I suppose. So, we're never going to play this game ever again. Okay, so I'm calling it Tower Draga's garbage. But it's important garbage. So in that sense, it's like Dragon's Lair, I guess. Although Dragon's Lair didn't really inspire anybody, I don't think, really. Which helps that Dragon's Lair is one of the best looking video games ever made, so that helps. I already played Rolling Thunder in a previous video. I'm going to go back and play Rolling Thunder eventually. I love Rolling Thunder. And the sequel might be pretty good, as I recall. I'm pretty sure it'll hold up. Okay, so we'll tease a Splatterhouse video. Like I said, we're going to tease the next video by making by adding some more terrible arcade games. Adding footage of more terrible arcade games from the 1980s. Although this game looks good, though. Like, I struggle to think... Like I was mentioning when I was playing Rolling Thunder, that's probably one of the best-looking arcade games I played at the time. But then again, Afterburner was probably a better-looking game back then. I think this was 16-bit hardware. So this was a big deal back in 1988. Yeah, this would have been 16-bit hardware by the late 1980s, definitely. But yeah, I played the TurboGrafx. I played the TurboGrafx-16 port, and it's probably my least favorite game on the console so far. It's god-awful. But people, like I can understand, like, a 10-year-old really... Like, when I was 12, I really wanted to play this game because it looked so good. But after 5 minutes, I'm like, that's all this game is? It's just really janky. It's just really janky melee combat, and you can barely even jump. You have like 2 moves. You can crouch and you can stand. You have a jump kick, a crouching kick, and a melee attack. That's it. That's the game. Again, it doesn't have tight controls or really, impressive like a rigid, like a really like lightning pace, like a Shadow Dancer. It's just a really lame 2D game. There's no platforming in it either, so it's basically it's a really lame 2D. It's like Ninja Warriors in a way, like the original one, not the good one that Natsume did for the Super NES. It's a really terrible melee brawl. It's not even a brawler, really. It's just a melee. It's like a hack and slash, I guess. Is the best way to describe it. But it looked good for the time. I'll be the first to say that. That's our sound. Yeah, it's good enough. So it's going to look better than the... Yes, the actual arcade game. Okay, this is not good. I got to change the controls. Give me a second. I said this was a test. Yeah, they swapped the buttons again. Idiots. Well, it's a Japanese thing, I bet. Y is for attacking. And X should be for jumping, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. How do you play Splatterhouse? Imagine that. Just guess how you think you play Splatterhouse, based on the TurboGrafx-16 version I played. What did I call this game? A blunt blow to the brains. It's just a terrible, terrible, incredibly simplistic video game. But it's easy to like the vibe if you're into this vibe. I like the graphics, but I never liked the vibe. I could see what they were trying to do, and I just kind of wasn't impressed with it. Yep. Pick up weapons off the floor, pressing the up or down direction. This weapons will be used a certain number of times. Others can be used indefinitely, but they cannot be taken into new stages, so it's like Final Fight. Without the fluid combat. Yeah. Imagine. Yeah, you can do a jump kick, jump diagonally, then hold the down direction per se just before you land. Oh! That's something I didn't know you could do. Let's pretend it significantly changes the game. Branching routes. What play style? There's only one play style, jump and kick. I mean, basically. Jump and punch, basically. Yeah, so there's a hurry up button. Don't let it catch up to you. Each stage progresses through. Of course you're saving your girlfriend. I mean, why else would you even bother going through all this, right? Maybe there's a villain we need to defeat. What's your motivation? What's your capturing? Some girlfriend or something. Yeah, you're rescuing someone of marriageable age, I guess. That takedown. Okay, I don't know why that even matters. Don't care about that. Compete for a high score on stage 5. You have unlimited lives. I guess everything is the same. Not exactly thrilling, but here we go. I do like that. That gets old in about 30 seconds. Whoops. There, that's the sliding kick. Which I guess is useful for speed runs. Okay, that wasn't in the TurboGrafx version. Ow! So can I interrupt that sliding kick? Set her up. Hey! Here's your purple mist. Your purple haze. Pretty nasty checkpoint. Ow. Stupid. Why even bother picking up the thing if you can just punch people? It does all the same amount of damage, right? Bastard. Yeah, I probably should just punched him. Didn't even have to kill him. There was a trick to this. What was the trick? I don't remember what the trick was. Yeah, terrible. Never playing this game. Well, I have to do a video of the arcade game. So I guess I'll throw in like 15 minutes for a Halloween video, and then I'll do the challenge mode and never play this game. So I'll make a Halloween video, which is just gonna be a YTF, because I know this game is terrible. Just really janky combat. What are you gonna do? Sorry, John Linneman. I hate this game. This is an incredibly simplistic game for kids, like that Harry Potter game everyone hates. But hey, at least it's not an open world game. We're gonna change games. So I played the other games already. I teased those. I mean, I guess I could tease. I already did Tank Force. I can tease Dig Dug. I don't think I've made a Dig Dug video before. I can never play Dig Dug for more than 10 minutes. I played this game as a kid, and I never really got into it. I guess it's like Mr. Do. I guess it's like Mr. Do. This is way too loud, by the way. Yes, it's way too loud. But I think Mr. Do probably has a better pace, I would argue. And again, another extremely popular video game from Japan. But this one was a lot more popular in the States, I imagine. Yeah, didn't get him. Actually, I do have to kill them all. Which is fine. Not opposed to that. If you dig underneath the rocks, you can blow them up. If you dig underneath the rocks, they'll eventually fall down. Don't worry about the perspective so much. Think of it as a 2D maze. A free-roaming 2D maze. I mean, you know how to play Dig Dug, right? I mean, I think I don't have to tell anybody how Dig Dug works. In fact, let me check on something. Fires a harpoon, you can drop rocks to defeat them until the enemy's been defeated. Proceed to the next round. Yeah, simple stuff. Dig underneath the rocks to make them fall. And you can squish enemies with the rocks. I think you get more points when you kill them that way too. And the flyers will change according to the round. Touching them will not affect gameplay. Oh well. So harpoon to pierce and inflate them. Got to be fired through thin walls. You cannot move on inflating. You'll be able to pass by them. Yeah, so you can. Yeah, once you pierce the enemy, keep pressing. Yeah, so you don't have to kill them. You can just move past them if you want to do it that way. Press A for the time runs out of recycling from the last round, so that's fine. Detron continues. Where's your problem? Deeper into the ground when you defeat the enemy. Oh, so the closer to the bottom of the screen you are, the more points you get. Use the harpoon to defeat the harpoon from the side. So not from the top, but from the side. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. Defeat multiple with a single rock for a higher score. Yep. Upping 2 on a stage would make... Every 2 rocks a stage would make a carrot appear at the starting point. E for a big bonus. Okay. Again, I don't think you could have figured that out through normal play, 'cause that would not have been explained on the arcade cabinets tutorial. Because you know how it is. They have the flashcards on the side of the screen next to the joysticks. You can kind of see basic tips for how to play the game. I don't know if that was ever explained on the cabinet. In fact, the compilations like this aren't particularly fancy about how the arcade cabinet looked and recreating that experience. It's not immersive like that. Compilations like this are more like, hey, you want to play this game on your insert console here? Now you can't. Like a game like this is probably on some cheapo Android device at a drugstore that you can buy for like $40 or something at a drugstore, along with Bad Dudes and maybe Bases Loaded. I found in one of those cheapo Android machines at I think it was Big Lots. It was like $35. You can get the first 4 Bases Loaded games in the NES. Like Heavy Barrel, I think, was on there. Bad Dudes was on there. So if you really like Bases Loaded, you could do that. I have like what 5 hours of videos from Bases Loaded 1 on this channel. Like I have like 10 hours of Bases Loaded footage on here. Good luck finding a dude with more Bases Loaded footage. That isn't related to some dude in a tub. So that might be enough for now. I guess I'll finish off with some Galaga. We'll play more of these games later, obviously. These games are what they are. But none of these games are any good. The games that I played today. Well, Dig Dug's fine for like 10 minutes, I guess. You know how to play Galaga, don't you? I don't think I've ever done I think I did a Galaga video for the NES Classic. But I don't think I've ever done the actual arcade game. Yeah, as you hit by or you lose one of their attacks. Sometimes unleash a tractor beam. If you destroy while it's holding it, it will be released. You combine to a dual fighter. So that whole thing. You get more points for destroying when they are attacking or moving them when they're standing by, okay. And you get more points destroying a boss when they have more escorts, yeah. You get a perfect bonus. Enemies fire the missile your fire. If you move forward to a corner, you have less room. Yes, so don't put baby in a corner, basically. Dodge to the last second. Complete for rescue points. Okay, so we'll do a video on this one. Auto fire sounds cool. The auto fire is pretty slow. Yeah, the auto fire is pretty slow. You're better off just using short control burst. Ah! Amazing. Wow. Haha! Can't be faded. Was this game considered like the 4th best video game of all time at one point? I would have voted for Joust, personally. If I had to choose a game from this era, it would be Joust. Never Pac-Man, never Space Invaders, never Galaga, just Joust. The original Flappy Bird. The original Flappy Bird. Well, can't be captured now. Wouldn't survive. Ah! Ah! Ha! Suck it. Yeah, well. Didn't get the perfect bonus. Gotta be accurate, which is the big problem. Ah! When are we getting the VR version of this? The Oculus Rift version. Ow! Guess we're not getting the Oculus Rift version of this. I would play that. Maybe in like 10 years I'll do some Oculus Rift footage. I don't know. 42% hit miss ratio. So that's great for baseball, lousy for free throw shooting and basketball. I do think that's cool. A little demonstration. Yeah. Remember when points mattered in video games, kids? Okay, so what's the best way to end this video? Probably with some music. Let's get some decent music in here. Guess we're going with Druaga. So I recorded this footage with my Skull Candy earbuds with the volume slider, plugged into a audio splitter into the J5 Create USB-C capture device, into my quad-core Windows 10 laptop, the Windows 10 camera app capturing the footage at 60 frames a second. So you get to see that Tower of Druaga at a glorious 60 frames a second. Every glorious pixel. All that super smooth motion clarity at 60 frames a second. Good soundtrack, though.